Joe and Oral are behind the mic saying Vin planned this because that's when I heard and learned that story about him wearing the sweater in the frigid cold weather at Fenway Park. And it's like, and that made me think of like their prep and when they have these long stretches of long innings where they have to fill up the time and tell stories, to have that in their back pocket. And it was like, only if we had a 16 pitch at bat would we have gotten to hear that whole story. So like Vin doing his magic from above.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks, Vin.
Right? I thought that was special. But Knack sure looked sweaty.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
I look so nervous.
Poor Knack.
And as always, this episode is presented by Legends Attic. We have an awesome event coming up on May 30th, and so many cool people are going to be there.
So many cool people. Our guy, Jaime Harin.
Oh, can't wait to see him.
I know. I'm really
Joe
excited to see him.
Davis.
Steve Sachs.
Peter O'Malley.
Peter O'Malley. I've never met him.
I'm excited to meet him.
We've got Ned Coletti.
Yep.
That's going to be a good
Who
one.
else, Eddie? Good timing.
Yeah, great timing.
I think we named everyone.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. We've got ESPN coming out. I'm sure there's going to be, it's not only just a great event, it's our 1-year anniversary over at Legends. So,
and we're going to be there. We're going to be podcasting. I can't wait to meet everybody.
Yeah.
So make sure you get a ticket. Follow us on our socials on Legends Attic so you can stay up to date and see who else is going to stop by.
I have a feeling they have a few people up their sleeve.
Ooh.
I know.
Adam will be there. And now to the episode. I just want somebody to talk Dodgers to me.
It's like,
have you seen his thighs? It's crazy that like girls, did we talk about this? Yeah. Like guys notice guys' legs. Like I don't think, oh, that guy's got great thighs.
No, but
I'll
I know.
say like he's got a good butt.
Right, but usually if a guy has a good butt,
or
he's
arms.
got
I like arms.
muscle.
Yeah.
Like that's why guys, sometimes they don't have a lot of muscle on their legs. And I think they get self-conscious about like calf size. And
have you seen the Entourage episode where Johnny Drama gets calf implants?
See what I mean? It's like a thing.
And he's looking at guys' calves and he's like, hey, are those real?
I mean, that's why the whole like, don't let your bro skip leg day is like a thing. Cause yeah, which I'm like a huge calf girl. I love when guys have a good pair of calves, honestly.
Really? Oh, so you are total opposite of what I'm saying.
Well, I love good arms. I love just an athletic body. Mm-hmm. Proportion. I don't like a big ol' and like no legs. But if a guy's like good shaped and then you look at his calves and they're like, sorry guys. Maybe I shouldn't bring.
I don't notice calves. I'll notice like I like an arm to, like, we're going to have to cut this.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, before we get into it, welcome back to Talk Dodgers to Me. I am Melissa Meyer.
And I'm Jaclyn Ruiz. We have so much baseball to talk about every week.
I know. And I feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
I know. The last
It's been
time,
days.
It's been days. I think Friday for the gala. Mm-hmm. We got invited to the Women in Health Women of the Year gala. We had Trisha on our episode last week. She told us so much about it. And we were so excited. We really weren't sure going in how we were going to, two girls on a podcast talking to women who own hospitals.
Who maybe don't own, but like
right. Well, they run the hospitals. But then after talking to her, we really did feel like we aligned so much with their just mission behind how they view women and just the mentorship, and it really was just that when we got there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, all we have to align on, and I would think anyone would, is women's health and promoting taking care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the biggest key takeaways, other than you like randomly poking me, I'm like trying to listen to these women and I get this random poke and I turn around and she's like, do you think they're going to serve dessert? I go, pretty sure. She's like, then I turn back around, I get another poke. You think it's going to be chocolate?
Or how about when that one dessert was just sitting there and the lady's like, you can have it if you want. I'm like, I can't have two.
No, but for real, the biggest takeaway was listening to them talk about at the top how they push empathy and kindness. And it's like they realize when someone's in that position where they're face to face with them, it's like the last place they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's nice to hear, because it's like that's the last place any family or anyone wants to be. And
it really was. I mean, everyone knows what it's like to go to a doctor, or if you have like a terrible situation and you're in the hospital, you can be met with a doctor that really cares and leads with kindness and can understand like this is the last place you want to be. Or sometimes doctors are just doing their job and they lack that, empathy.
Right.
So I really did love hearing that from them. How
it's like they're building their culture from the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so big on culture. People like hone in on specifics, but like, no, the culture from the top is, so they're going to push that. That's what they look for in their doctors. So I know it's like doctors just doing their jobs, and it's not like I'm like, treat me with kindness always, but it's like it's scary. It's a scary situation. So
to be in that room and to hear that like these are the conversations they're having, all the amazing things they're doing.
I know.
To just push things forward, empowering women, empowering people to take care of themselves.
I know. Sorry, I'm not laughing. You're saying such great points, but I'm just cracking up at all the women being like, so what hospital do you guys work at?
I know. And we're like, actually, we have a baseball podcast.
And they're like, oh my gosh. And then, but honestly, we were met with so much love, and so many people came up and intentionally would just be like, I really like the Dodgers, like just trying to find like a common ground. But it was a beautiful event.
It really was. It was at the SLS Hotel. Really beautiful, cool vibe there.
Such a cool vibe.
I enjoyed our dinner.
Yeah, the bathroom mirrors were great.
It's also just different and cool. And I think we both are just like down for whatever to just kind of be immersed in another world that we know very little about. So to see what an event like that is for them.
Yeah, I mean, it started in the 80s.
It's like, being a fly on the wall of something you don't usually get to be a part of.
I know.
So yeah, it's interesting to see like what you attract into your life and maybe what we do further with them. Because I know that there are some girls that listened that are in the healthcare industry that have reached out to be connected with them. So if we can connect people, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And learn ourselves.
And while I was trying on dresses to wear to the gala, I was running back and forth from my TV to my bedroom, like looking in the mirror, watching our boys win 19-2.
That was such a fun game to watch. Like, finally feels like what we were used to.
I know. I kept saying, I'm used to being the 16, not the 1.
I know.
Whatever.
I know. That was a good game.
Do you think, because that was the game after Austin Barnes got DFA'd, and they always talk about how competitive he was and how much he loved to win, that they were just knocking it out of the park for him?
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that there's always things in the back end that I think fuel the guys. You see that so many times. I mean, even when the person in front of them gets walked, like the people coming up behind, like Mookie, or it's just like, oh, really? And then they walk. Oh, gosh,
was that the game he let out the roar?
Oh, that was good.
One of my favorite moments this season.
He did it 3 times. He was like,
I love it.
Like, yeah, I know. I love how all of the guys repost their moments of not just their own, but like of other ones. I know. Gosh, it feels like so long ago, Barnes. I feel like we had just found out after recording.
The last time we were here.
Yeah. And then Chris Taylor.
I know. I was feeling really heartbroken that day and just kind of maybe not being on board with that decision, just because I know how important he is on the team and in the clubhouse. But, after a week of processing and listening to interviews and trying to understand the why behind it, it does make sense.
What is it that you got from the interviews? Like, what made it make sense?
Well, you can't keep a guy like Dalton Rushing, who is performing so well in the minor leagues. What is he going to do? Stay there until he's 30? He's 24, and he's playing better than Austin Barnes. So what are you going to do? You got to give him a chance.
Yeah.
The only thing that worries me a little bit is that Dalton Rushing is used to playing every day. And I don't know how it's going to work with Will Smith. Is Dalton going to play 1 day a week? Is he going to play a couple games? Are they going to alternate more?
Yeah, all I know is if a
that.
young guy comes up and performs the way that Kim and Rushing are, as much as it's like the times go on and we lose players and it is kind of bittersweet, it's like, it's time.
Totally.
It really is time. Like, I don't know. All I can hope is that they had the conversation with the guys and that the guys knew that this was almost their like last role that they needed to play and in the game or help with the team. And like, I just can't stay that sad when Kim and Rushing are doing
and that's
well.
a great point because they both deserve to be on the team. And when you can only have 40 guys on the team, who's got to go? And I think Dodger fans have been talking about Austin Barnes and Chris Taylor and their lack of contribution for a long time.
Well,
so
I do think
as sad as it is, it makes sense. But they're our longest tenured Dodgers, those two.
Yeah, and gots to go. Just kidding. Just kidding.
It's
no,
sad,
it
though.
is sad.
You know, they've had so many moments for us.
Yeah.
And just back to back, you know, we got Austin Barnes and then it's Chris Taylor. You broke the news to me about that one.
I know. I'm just happy. Okay, I'm sad. I just genuinely, it's the game one. And I feel comfortable because I do think that there's enough veterans still left on the team because it's like, okay, let's not get crazy. We got October baseball and like, we're going to need that experience. We're going to need the guys who know how to show up in October baseball. And I feel like we have a good cap on it to where that was like the perfect wiggle room and like the perfect people to make room for young blood. Yeah, so it's sad, but ultimately I think it's going to be
I also felt like our team needed a boost of youth energy. So as sad as
They're
it is,
hungry.
You have to, you know, it is a business and I get it. I listened to Andrew Friedman talk about it and you can tell like it was hard because our team is so loyal and I love that about them. But I was even questioning like, are they being too loyal keeping Chris Taylor for so long? He only has had 34 plate appearances today. And at this point in the season, that's not a lot. So
that's what I mean.
I wonder if they'll get picked up by other teams. That'll be really hard to watch them on other teams. But we'll, you know, root for them.
I know. I've always been really lucky. Like I had the Kobe. I had the longevity of player. And it's sad. It's sad when they go, but it just it's time.
You know, it really was listening to Kershaw talk about it.
Yeah.
And he seemed to be, you know, sad, but understood. So I just got on board with him.
I know. I was scared to hear the conversation because when the interview dropped, I'm like, because, you know, it's easy to want to kind of take how he would feel about it. But he did. And I love that everyone they couldn't talk about it without being somber because of how much they love the boys. But he was very positive about Rushing. And I think Kershaw going down and playing with Rushing probably really was like, dude, this kid's ready. So,
but even for Dalton Rushing, like the guys are sad about Austin Barnes leaving, but they also have to welcome him with open arms and make him feel part of the team.
Yeah.
So I just wonder what it's been like in the clubhouse. And it seems like Dalton Rushing is fitting in really well. He's performing so well already.
Yeah. I always think of when I was a player and I would always be the youngest on like a better team. And at the beginning, it's like you kind of come in and you have to earn your spot. And it's like the best way to earn your spot is to get out there and do. And obviously he had to have felt some sort of welcome and stuff because he felt comfortable and he got out there and he's executing. And so then it's almost like it takes the pressure off because that's almost like you're like not hazing, but it's almost like you're accepted, right? It's like, okay, we can mess with you.
I love it. And it seems like he's doing everything in his power to be the best he can be. And I love it. I love to see it.
I would love to know more of the nitty gritty of the clubhouse though, because it's like, you know, they can't all, like we said before, they can't always be all nice. You know, I'm sure there's conversations like, is that how you really like fucking throw the ball? Like,
get the ball up. I'm just dying to know like what the dynamic is in there. I was listening to Matt Sauer, I always want to call him Saucer, talk about his locker is next to Blake Trinan's, and like, you know, Blake has a lot of years on him. So Matt like can't let his stuff pass like, you know, the mark that it goes over to Blake, but Blake can. Because he's got time on him.
Right?
He's got 2 World Series rings.
That's the funny part. And it's like, even like Freddie, it's like, I'm sure it's like, you have to be particular. Like they probably have to be like kind of strict and like, sometimes with like the young guys, but that's kind of the rite of passage.
Freddie and those doubles.
He's
makes me nervous watching him run, but not when it goes far enough that it's a stand-up double.
I mean, when it's like an infield and it's like the first baseman, the catcher, everyone's running over or the pitcher, and it's like, I'm like, please no one touch an ankle. Like no one. Did you see Edmund went down with that same? Yeah.
I know, right? Coming back from his injury.
Yeah, thank God it was okay, but it was like, ugh. I know when they're all like,
if Freddie has to slide, I'm just like, ah.
Yeah, but I know he looks so fragile.
I know.
But he's doing it, so he can't be that fragile. Mm-hmm. But he really looks like he slides and you're like, he gets up and you're like, ooh.
You know who else has been on fire?
Who?
Will Smith.
Oh. You want to know when you really feel comfortable with a player is like nights like last night when people come up to bat and you're like, let's go. Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Every time last night Will Smith came up, I'm like, oh, something good's going to happen.
I know. And like Will Smith, it's like, oh, you just walked that person because you don't want Will Smith to be up? Well,
watch what I can do.
Yeah, Will Smith has been doing
I like
really
your
well.
LA earrings.
Thanks. I'm so glad you brought him up.
Where'd you get those?
So my waxer lady that I've been going to for years, I finally got to go back to see her since I've moved back. I just haven't really gone to see her, and she moved into a new studio, but she started making these last season.
So cute.
And so she gifted me a pair, which is so cute. I'll definitely put her little Etsy store. But yeah, they're super fun and cute.
Did you notice I'm wearing this bandana from our Dodger bag from the women's event?
I did notice.
This is a Dodgers bandana. You know, just trying it out.
I love it. And I love your new haircut.
Thank you. I'm a little refreshed, more blonde, a little shorter for summer.
I love it. So yeah, we left the gala, and how you went to...
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we both drove to different parts of California. Mm-hmm. You drove to Palm Springs straight from the gala.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my cousin's bachelorette, and so I'd missed the first day of festivities, but yeah, I was like, let me just bust it out. I got there in 2 hours, and it was great. You had to drive a long one.
Yeah, so I went back home, woke up at 4 a.m. and drove to the cutest town north of San Francisco called Hearldsburg. I think that's how you pronounce it, for a family friend's wedding, which was beautiful. And I got to see my mom. I wish I could have stayed longer because the town was so cute. I wanted to explore more. It also was a whole wine tasting weekend. So everywhere you went, there was different wine tastings.
Wow.
But it was fun. I got to wear this yellow dress, and it made me feel like Kate Hudson in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, which is one of my favorite movies.
You look so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, that picture of you and your mommy, you sent a selfie, and I was like, oh.
I got no pictures of me in the dress.
What do you mean? None?
No.
Why are we so bad at taking pictures?
I was just having fun and mingling. You know, a lot of people I've known forever.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was really nice to see. And a lot of them were telling me that they listen to the podcast, and so many of them are Yankee fans. So they're all, giving me crap. It was the wedding of Sam and Sam. And then my sister is Sam. And I grew up with bride Sam and my sister being best friends. So then bride Sam married a Sam. So it's very confusing to talk about it.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to fill my mom in, and she's like, what? So Melissa's sister got married? I'm like, never mind. But I was at the Bachelorette on Saturday when I watched Kirsch. So we were like poolside, like I got champagne poured by 10 a.m. Like, us girls, when I got there, we kind of stayed up a little chit-chatting, but everyone had kind of went to bed. And so I'm like sitting on the couch, like watching him on my phone because I was so nervous. And I was just like, they're like, can you put it on the TV? I was like, I just need a second. Like, I just need to get through it. Because Noelle's like, put it on. Like, all of us want to watch it anyway,
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I mean, Noelle, we grew up, my Uncle Mike is her dad. And like, beyond my dad, like him and I are just baseball junkies, always have been. And so she grew up with that too. I mean, just her and I are like, it's really funny. During the 2017 stretch, we went to Yard House in Burbank and like had a drink and then ran into some friends and we watched the game and then we had so much fun. And then like, this was before the playoff season of it. And we just like, it was right before. And we just, everyone kept meeting there every game. And by the end of the World Series, we had like 72 people at Burbank Yard House just rallied to watch the Dodgers. And we'd all get there and we'd save seats. And like, it was so fun. And that was the year that the Astros, which is just so annoying, which is actually a little fun fact.
What?
And you know what? This might tie into a little hometown New Jersey field trip.
What? Tell me.
So on TikTok, I've been going on a lot more because I love to repost what you put out, our content. Guys, if you don't follow us on TikTok, like you really should because
we put different kind of content on TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, well, don't get them too excited.
We have to do that. Oh, nothing like that.
Just kidding. We have to do what?
We have to make a video to that sound I sent you.
Oh, yeah.
It was perfect for us.
I know. I'm sharing things with you because I'm like, well, we should do that. Or
you are?
Yeah, that was the sound I sent you. I sent that
right,
Instagram.
Right. I don't know how to find messages.
Oh my gosh. No, but I actually saw Rushing's wife or girlfriend and she kind of came up and it was this whole thing of how proud she is of him.
Aww.
I know. And so I followed her. But beyond that, I came across this other girl who's a Dodger wife, or not a Dodger wife, a baseball wife to a pitcher in Washington Nationals. His last name's Ramirez. She puts out pretty funny content. And she's not like, her followers aren't really that big or anything, but just like very interesting content. And so I came across her talking about the secret mud that they rub on the balls. And it's a secret mud. No one knows what this mud is, but it's from New Jersey on the Delaware River.
Wait, did we talk about this before?
Not with me.
Did we, Adam? Have you heard about secret mud?
I've heard about secret mud from New Jersey. I didn't know they put it on baseballs.
Oh.
So in 2022, they made like a rule that all of the balls that get pitched in a game have to be rubbed on this secret mud, which they've been mudding balls. You can't just put a brand new ball in a pitcher's hand. It's going to be super slippery. So they've been like mudding balls. You want to know what they used to mud it with?
What?
With, just water and dirt. But they're tobacco juices. They would like mud this ball and get it worked in with like all of their spit tobacco juices. But anyway, then it became this secret mud. I'm telling you, it's a secret mud and it's ran by one family and they are the only ones who knows it. It's on the Delaware River, but on the New Jersey side.
I've heard of this.
But it's literally the only mud that is allowed for all MLB people. And that's what they rub on all their game balls. But she was saying that there's some ballparks that don't always rub the same amount of mud on one ball versus the other. And so then I'm like, ooh, what is she getting at? Because every time I think of someone cheating, obviously I go to the Houston Astros, right? And so I was like, what is this? Like, what do you mean? And so then I went and it's fun because she's kind of putting out little snippets, but she doesn't say any names or anything where she's kind of like, I'm going to get in trouble for this one. So it's kind of funny, but the comments very much were like, the Astros, the Astros.
So do these balls go to all the teams?
So these balls go to all the teams, but I think the umpire also has the dirt and he's the only one who can like, if a player, well, that was the thing is that an old veteran pitcher on his team, when he went, this guy was going to pitch for the first time at the stadium. I'm just assuming that they didn't name any kind of names, but they said if any ball doesn't feel like there's enough mud on it, throw it back. The pitch or the ump has to give you a new one or put more like dirt on it.
Well, you see them throw it back all the time, and usually that's because like they don't have a good feel on it.
Yeah, there's not enough mud, secret mud.
Wow.
And the secret mud's from New Jersey. And so then I'm like, do we like try to go find this like factory or like, I don't need to know the secret of what's in the mud, but it would just be like a fun little snippet if it's close.
Okay.
Just to close the loop on this, I don't know if you want to keep talking about mud, but it's called the Lena Blackburn Baseball Rubbing Mud.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a whole history.
There is a history.
Anything else you want to tell us about it?
No, he's the one who closed the circle on it. This isn't his fun fact to tell.
Well,
yeah.
okay. I like that. Let's look into it.
Okay. I know. We're like talking about...
I can just imagine us going to New Jersey, driving around the Delaware River, going, is that the place where they harvest the mud? Let's go check out that mud. And then you guys are going to be like, Adam, come here, film me doing this. And then you're going to pick up some mud and be like,
exactly
is this the mud? Is this the mud?
We've got to take some baseballs.
We got to take some secret mud back with us. Well, they can sell it at Legends Attic.
Well, do you think there's like a factory, or do you think it's like a shed that's like super
I don't know.
nondescript,
This family,
not draw attention?
This family for 80 years is the only family who knows.
Yeah, and I would not put a factory up on the Delaware River.
Right. Well, I don't think that's on. I don't know. This is what I mean. I think we need to kind of investigate, because how fun if we could even interview this guy. You know, they have interviewed him before. He was on that Dirtiest Jobs show that they had, where they went and dove into people who have really dirty jobs. But then I was looking at the comments.
People with really dirty jobs.
That's a job on Discovery Channel.
Yeah, it's a show.
I think it's
Really?
I don't know if it's still going.
It's a show, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of gross jobs. Have you ever thought about working at a trash place?
No, I haven't thought about it.
Anyway, in the comments, people are like, "Oh, this has got to be from a landfill, a sewer." Yeah.
All right, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Anyway, I thought that was fun, and it could tie into our trip.
I was very sad that I wasn't sitting at a TV watching Kershaw's start, because I was just thinking about it nonstop. But I did have it on my phone while I was sitting at the table. You know what's funny? I did not sit next to my mom or my sister at the wedding. I was strategically placed next to single men.
That's nice of them.
And who look over and are like, "You're watching baseball?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It's very funny, people's reactions to girls having, or saying, "Yeah, I have a baseball podcast." You blow people's minds.
I know. That's so funny. I know. I remember you telling me that. They're like, I'm not sitting next to my mom or my sister. I'm at a table just full of a bunch of single guys. I was like,
I know. So I asked bride Sam. She's like, "Oh yeah, I did that on purpose."
That's so funny.
But it was fun. Okay, let's talk about Kershaw's start.
Okay.
The first inning was rough. And it was reminding me of his start against the Diamondbacks in the postseason. When James Outman missed that ball, and I felt like that just led to a whole momentum shift for the Diamondbacks. And then all of a sudden it's 6-0. I was at that game. I was yelling at Dodger fans that were hating on Kersh, having his back.
Okay, well, that's nice of you.
Yeah.
Were they being mean?
Yes, they were being mean.
Yeah, I know. People are really hot and cold with pitchers.
But I thought after the first inning, he looked really good.
Yeah.
I really thought he looked good.
You know, that's interesting, because I know Kershaw does have a lot of love. But it's just through the years of pitchers and stuff, it's fans really turn on them quick. You kind of it's almost like they like to highlight how old and bad they're getting versus all of the positives and the games and Kenley Jansen. I feel like it's his career with the Dodgers is really shadowed with how much everyone was just over him blowing games, when really
he has the most saves in Dodger history.
That's my point. This is my point. Is it overshadows to the point where people aren't even seeing. I felt that way recently, and I was going to ask you about Conforto, because he still is struggling in a sense, not really clicking, but he does come through randomly. But it's someone makes an error or something like that. And am I being kind of hard that I'm over him? Not over him, but I'm just come on, dude.
I don't think you're wrong. I think he's had so many chances and he's not coming through. So we're reaching the point where we're kind of questioning, okay, what's next for this guy? Because our players must be wow, they let go of Austin Barnes. They let go of Chris Taylor. Who's next? If you're not performing, you might be the next to leave. So I bet guys like Conforto, even Muncy, are probably thinking about that.
Because I've kind of went and tried to see a lot of what the fans were saying, when Chris Taylor and stuff. And a lot of people, that was the argument of how did we get rid of that guy when that guy has that batting average? Or, but I don't want to be that fan who just flips. And it's not that I'm trying to, but sometimes I'm come on.
Well, you've been trying to get on board with Conforto
really
all
trying.
season.
I've been really trying.
I saw this. Someone posted something that because Tanner Scott didn't have a good outing last night. They posted Tanner Scott and Michael Conforto because they came from the Padres and the Giants, saying that they were like they're
planted to ruin us.
Like it was a plan.
Well,
it's not true.
Turn it around, guys, because it's gonna start feeling that way soon.
They're gonna get their shit together.
Okay, back to Kersh because we still have to dive into that. Yes, the first inning was rough. It felt a little.
I thought that he handled it really well.
I think he didn't do bad.
He didn't.
I thought if you take away the hype of it being Kersh and his first game back and all the things, like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, they hit and yeah, it wasn't perfect, but like, I don't know. He put the ball in play and they were able to get him out. He struck people out. He like
first strikeout. I was like, yes, he's back. I thought like if we're just talking about his pitching and not any mistakes or errors that people made, I thought he did a really good job.
I do too.
I really did.
I can't even when I look back.
He looked
at highlights.
great. I thought I was surprised with the velocity, how fast he was throwing.
I also loved that
when he swing and miss. I love it.
The what? Oh yeah, I know. I feel like he actually had a great outing, and there was a lot of pressure on it. I loved seeing his family in the stands, like watching from above. Of like even the little girl, his daughter's so grown up now.
I know.
She looked like us in Tokyo,
and she's like cheering him on.
Yeah,
really excited for the strikeouts. Watching Ellen and the kids, that was really sweet.
Yeah. I was really happy with his outing. And Pages saved him with a home run.
Oh, I love that too. It was like our guys come up and they're like, we got you, Kersh. You know what? Even the score, you go back out feeling less pressure. Yeah. I loved that.
Me too. And like even his like catch where he slammed in and then his ribs.
I was nervous.
Me too.
Because he kept holding on and I'm like, oh no.
He slammed that so hard. I know. I was like, Pages, no. But honestly, I love him. I'm such a fan.
But yeah, even when we're talking about like letting go of Barnes and Chris Taylor, like guys like Andy, guys like Haesung Kim and Dalton Rushing, like they deserve to stay. They deserve to be on our team because they're performing so well. And we need room for them.
Yeah.
Before we move off of old man Kershaw, I just want a milestone alert. He is 30 strikeouts away from 3,000.
Isn't that amazing?
Now, given his injury history, it might take him another 2 or 3 years to get there. But I just wanted to alert everybody that that's coming up.
Did you watch any of his start?
I did not.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was impressed. I really, at the beginning, I was very like, this is hard. I mean, to the point where Christian texted us.
I know.
He's like, how are you guys doing? I'm like, it's a little rough, but we're just start. But I don't know. I was really happy with it at the end.
When I looked at my phone and saw 3-0 in the first inning, I was just like, no, please, not Kersh.
You know what I did love, though, which is such a veteran energy of his, is that, like, have you noticed sometimes the newer pitchers, when there's, like, a bomb hit off of them, like, they almost look at the ball like, how did that happen? Like, what? And it's not that, but it's kind of like, okay, dude, you missed your pitch. Kersh was like, it's almost like he just knew exactly where he missed. And like, he was just like, it was a different energy. He almost thought about it differently. He like, I don't know. It wasn't so much. He didn't pay. Once he knew that it was gone or that it was a hit, it's like, there's nothing I can do about that. Like, what did I just do? And
he was getting really, like he wasn't emotional about it. I felt like he was really composed. And to me, that was a really good sign. And something interesting that I learned, I don't know when he first was coming up, that was a sign for Joe Torre to tell him that he was ready, because one of his first starts, he put him in and someone hit a home run off Kersh and he didn't even look. He just was like, next pitch, give me the ball.
And I felt it this one. I was like, I kind of like that.
And before his start, when he was doing one of the press conferences, one of the media guys asked him a question that I really liked. I liked how he asked the question. I liked that he put a compliment in with the question. That's like things that I like to do.
Maybe they heard you. Maybe they heard you saying like, can you ask better questions?
Maybe. But he said, I've been watching you the last week and you've been smiling a lot lately. What is different about the anticipation of this start? And I just really liked how he phrased the question. I liked it. And like you saw Kersh get a smile out of that. And he's like, oh, really? Am I? And he just to me, it feels like he's in a place of gratitude. He's really excited to just be back and to be contributing.
Totally. I feel like there's so many interviews that he's kind of like, I took it for granted. I took it for granted, and not being able to just have my body able to just get out there and do what it is that like I've been doing, you know, it's like, and that yeah, I mean, that makes me just love him more.
Right?
Yeah. But it's like, he took it for granted. Even his family, they're cheering him, and it's like, you don't know what's going to happen. But that's why it's like, I just want him to get through. I want him to hit a good accolade like that. Like, I just want him to.
Oh, he'll get it.
I know.
He will. He'll get it this year.
Yeah, this
You
year.
want to make a bet, Adam? Ooh, that'll be fun. Let's make a bet.
Off the air, we'll make a bet.
Okay.
Okay. You think about what the bet is.
On it.
But no, even with when Pages hit his home run and stuff, and he came back in, like Dave Roberts. Did you see that clip where he's looking around like, who's going to throw the sunflower seeds?
Yes.
And I
know they were late with it.
I know, but I love that he's almost like it must be a little superstitious tradition going.
Maybe.
Where he's like, where is it? Like, but I love that he like has fun with all of them. Mm-hmm. Good old Kersh. I was proud of him.
Me too. Because seeing the score and watching it on my phone was very different than on Sunday night. I watched the game with Kersh from the beginning to end, and was feeling really proud of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really proud of him. I'm glad you feel that way, because that's kind of how I felt taking away from it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good job, Kersh.
I wish we could have gotten a win for him.
I know.
But it's the city of angels.
Can't believe we got swept by the Angels. See, we can't. No, that's unacceptable to me. Our team cannot get swept by the Angels.
What do you think it
and
is?
the Angels are not a rival. It was rivalry weekend. They're not our rival.
No, that's like a freeway series. That's not a rival.
Natural rivals. That's
What
what
they're
this weekend's about.
supposed to be.
It's a natural rivalry. Just like it. You look at the only two series
they're
that
just another
didn't
Los
make
Angeles
really any
team.
sense this weekend, which I actually thought this weekend was kind of cool, just in terms of all the rivalries kind of being played at once. The only two that didn't really make sense, Braves and Red Sox.
What? Braves and Red Sox?
They're kind of the two teams left out. Like Boston, natural rival is the Yankees, but the Yankees are playing the Mets. So and
There's like new rivalries.
There's nobody around Atlanta, and Atlanta, everybody in the NL East is basically their rival, but everybody in the NL East is playing somebody else. The other one, it's not as big of a stretch as that one, but the Mariners played the Padres, top and bottom of the West Coast.
And the Padres.
They're not rivals at all, but they had everybody else is playing different teams. So
Maybe the Mariners and the Angels should have played.
Well, we got to see Kenley Jansen, and it's funny to watch pitchers like him. We talk about our players going back to their former team and doing really well because of all the adrenaline, and they usually hit a homer. Kenley's velocity was up. He did really well, and I was wondering if that is like the equivalent of a home run for a position player.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he gets his. Yeah, it's like the feeling of hitting a grand slam is probably the feeling of, especially going back to your ex team. It's the Dodgers.
I just really don't like how the fans think of him. I really love Kenley, and I wish he was embraced more by Dodger fans.
Yeah, but he's an Angel now.
Random. So is Tyler Anderson. He's a former Dodger pitcher. He played Kersh's game. I liked him on our team, and he's a good pitcher. The other former Dodger who we saw last night was Shelby Miller. Do you remember him?
Give me a highlight.
what year? Doesn't have any.
Yeah.
Shelby's been around. Like, it's so hard to pinpoint. Like,
I liked him though, more for his personality and what I learned about him off the field than his performance on the field. However, I did like him last night because he walked some guys, hit Will Smith. We got in a run, and then we won the game.
Oh, that was such a fun last inning.
Thank God we won that game. That was an emotional roller coaster.
Literally, though, the players that kept coming up to bat, I love my team. I love our team. They're so fun because you know what? Maybe there was a world where we didn't win, but it was like,
No.
but I'm like, every single person who comes up, I was just that confidence that you have in your team. I didn't one time be like, oh, well,
Mm-hmm. I did. And when the D-backs tied it up again in the 9th inning, I'm like,
no, I'm talking about at the end
believe-
when it was like Ohtani.
Oh, yeah.
And then who was after that? Oh, Mookie. Then they walked him, right? Or no, wait.
No,
No,
he
he moved.
Shohei.
Yeah. Then Mookie came up.
Mm-hmm. Did they walk Mookie too? They kept walking
then
people.
Kike.
And then Will got hit by the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So Edmund scored.
Yeah. I felt bad for Kike on that whole run.
That was such a tough strikeout because he was battling and the count was like 3-0 at one point.
No, yeah. And then that last
Then
one,
it's a
and it was
full
like
count.
right on the line. I mean, if you go by the box,
He
but
was
like,
pissed.
yeah, I know.
That was rough. Kike's in need of a moment soon.
But you know what? If our boys didn't pull out that win solely because of the performance Yoshi put on, like, come on. We can't have our pitcher going out and throwing like that. And
Yoshi was incredible. Like, fantastic.
yeah. Yeah. He's in a groove.
When he's on, I feel like the ball goes exactly where he wants it to go.
Mhm.
It's just like video game perfect.
Mm-hmm. I know.
He's so fun to watch. His roar at the end. I mean,
Yeah.
he's our ace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's amazing. What's with the little lion? Is he like, have you seen the memes when he roared?
No.
And in the back, it was like, it's not the animated version of Simba, but it's like the real life version, still animated, of Simba.
Uh-huh.
Right?
CGI version.
I'm like looking at Adam like, help me out, because I know that it's not a real lion,
Not
but
animated. No, that's a real lion. The lion was great acting. I'm surprised it didn't win the Best Actor award.
can you roar again? Anyway, but they're calling him like little Simba.
Oh, that's cute.
It's really cute because he was like, rah, and then in the back he's like, rah, and then Kike reposted just the lion.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Uh-huh.
He even like gave a nod to the crowd. You know what, Dodger fans? You were awesome last night.
Mm-hmm.
They were in it.
I mean, Mexican Heritage Night. The
It
people
was.
came. Yeah.
It was. And they really were in it. I felt like they were in every pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like how sometimes when I'm like at Citizen Bank Park, when I'm watching the Phillies,
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like their fans are in it pitch after pitch. And ours aren't always. So last night it was really fun to see. And you could see Yamamoto at the end when he needed that last strikeout and the fans are all standing. And I'm just like, oh, you need this moment.
Yeah.
When he did it was amazing.
I know. When it actually executes, it's like, and that's when
Same thing with Ben Kasparius when he needed that strikeout last night and he got it.
I know. It made me miss being at Dodger Stadium.
I know.
That was the moment where I was like,
Wish I was there.
yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not into the whole wrestling Nacho Libre vibe. Like, it's just, I don't know how to connect to it. And so I didn't really feel like I needed to be there for like the jersey. Did you see the wrestling match they did?
I saw those creepy pictures you sent me of our players wearing the masks.
I know. It's just not my vibe.
It's almost as scary as when they put on those masks when we won.
Oh, Bonda.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Man,
That's another one.
When he comes out, the crowd is insane.
Have you seen it recently where everyone's like, can everyone just leave him alone? You need him to pitch.
Yes.
Like, people aren't really happy with his, like,
He gives up a lot of homers.
that's what it is.
But
Yeah.
Tanner Scott gave up 2 homers last night.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, come on, dude.
We paid him a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so actually another fun fact that I heard is that
What?
when they, because we talked about getting mic'd up, well, not us, but the players make 10,000 if they get mic'd up in season. And I
Really?
guess post is 15.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, how much do they pay the fans to mic me up?
Oh, okay.
Right.
Wow, they get-
Interesting, right?
for like 2 minutes of
Well, that was
talking.
the joke. Like when I was reading, like listening to like the story behind it and stuff, it was like, so like, how's the family at home? And then it's like, oh, you know, because like they have to go do a play, you know?
Yeah.
And then they come back and it's like, yeah, family's good. It's like,
I know, it's so funny.
I know. But hopefully they mic up fans soon because
Where'd you learn that?
TikTok.
Nice. I got
My
some
same
learning
girl.
there.
She's got so many fun facts.
Interesting.
There's another one that we have to do the next game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was really happy that our team fought back because there was a moment where I thought we were going to win the whole time. It was sad that we couldn't score more than one run. Like our bats need to get going. But
Muncy's getting going. I have a theory.
Really?
And it's more than glasses.
Oh, okay. He made a pretty tough error to watch throwing to Freddie in the beginning of the game, but then he did turn it around. But yeah, really proud of our boys. They, they're giving us that we're not going to lose energy. And I'm really glad that we pulled out a win because we needed it bad.
Yeah, it's true. Because honestly, there was a point where it's like, do you guys not care? Like, what's happening?
Well, I'm like, what's going on? Are you sad? Are you sad about the guys leaving?
I don't think they are sad about that. I don't think it's that. But it's
part
just
of it.
Season, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I think that they've been in it so long. Baseball's such a business that like, I don't know if they were affected their play because Chris and Barnes. But I was happy to hear Miggy when he reposted to kind of be like, the boys are back, and it's like, I want that. I'm like, okay, good. You guys still want it, because like, that's what's scary is that nonchalant kind of, it's like, what is it? What is it? Like what?
Well, I really hope we win today.
Yeah.
And we keep this streak going.
Do you want my theory on Muncy?
Yeah.
Well, at the beginning of the season, we all knew that he needed to drop some pounds and he got pretty thin. And he doesn't look as thin now. And honestly, I think he might be happier. I think they're feeding him again. And I think he's happier.
Really?
And he's hitting. Yes. Okay. I mean, honestly, there was a point where I'm like, man, okay, he's really cutting the LBs, which is fine, either way. But he's also just a stocky guy. And like, sometimes your body needs, I don't know. He looked, last night I'm like, looks like he's put on a little weight. And honestly, maybe he's happier in that weight. Maybe he feels stronger. Maybe he doesn't feel, I don't know. I genuinely was like, wait, is that the new theory? They're feeding him again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
Maybe.
Yeah, a full belly, a happy dude. He's going to
Whatever
go hit some
makes him feel
homers.
good. Seriously.
Yeah. Honestly. There you go. You're welcome, everybody.
That's an interesting take.
If Max Muncy listens to this, I think you should do a new celebration, the Feed Me celebration. Every time you get a hit, feed me. Feed me.
Our listeners let us know that we forgot one of the celebrations when we were doing our little dance last episode.
Which one?
They always wave to the bullpen.
Oh, yeah.
That's
really like your favorite one, though.
That's not really a dance, though. It's just like they wave to the bullpen. But yeah, we didn't include that because that is something they do every time.
That's funny. And Muncy actually just put out an interview defending Shohei because there was a time where he slid into second and he got up and did the things, but then he went to go shake out his glove, but it kind of made like a certain hand gesture. And so Muncy's like, yeah, I saw people like mess, so I have to talk about it. And he was like, he was getting the glove out of his dirt, like all defensive. And I was like, that's so cute.
You know what moment I really liked? When they panned the bullpen watching Yamamoto and they're all just glued to him.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Everyone just watching.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Let's talk about Vin Scully bobblehead night.
Oh, Vin.
So I went on a deep dive.
Yeah.
And watched the whole ceremony of when the Dodgers, when it was Vin's last year, and that whole ceremony they did. And then I went to the bathroom, looked in the mirror, and like my makeup was everywhere because I was crying.
Yeah.
But
that was emotional.
Wow. He just is amazing. And I wish we could have gotten his bobblehead. I actually went, the last giveaway they did, they gave out jerseys with the microphone on them, and they ran out. So I think that's also why I'm like such a stickler for getting there on time and getting the bobbleheads, because of the one time I didn't get it.
Yeah, I have one other bobblehead of Vin.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'll bring it. And I got a t-shirt, like when that microphone with VIN kind of became a thing, I had bought a t-shirt off of like a Facebook ad. Just like a stupid t-shirt.
Just think about his career. And, I love listening to Joe and Oral and the stories they tell. And sometimes when we go to the game live, I do miss listening to them because you learn so much about the players and stuff like that. So I'll end up watching the game back just to hear those stories. But did you ever hear the story of like how Vin really first started?
Mm-mm.
So he went to like a networking event and ran into Red Barber, who was the broadcaster for the Dodgers, and like introduced himself. And Red's like, oh yeah, I'm never gonna talk to you again. But it was like, give me your info, kid. And then I guess like had an opening a couple weeks later at Fenway Park, and it was a college game. And he had Vin go, and Vin ended up calling the game from the roof in like frigid weather, just wearing a sweater, freezing, like walking back and forth from the roof, calling the game. And a couple weeks later, Red got a call from someone at Fenway apologizing for the conditions that their young broadcaster was in. Meanwhile, Vin never even complained about it.
Wow.
So that stuck with Red, and he's like, oh, wow. That's a good kid. I might as well call him again. So then there was a Harvard-Yale game coming up. He called him, had him come to that game, and that really was how he started.
Wow.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah. He's amazing. I feel like listening to the game through his point of view and his voice and the way he presents it, it's just like I'm so happy he was ours. Like it's just like, and it's something you'll always kind of miss. I don't just say that like, Oral and Joe Davis and the broadcasting team, like it doesn't I don't think it's talked about enough how smooth of a transition that they kind of took over, because it is such a void, and that would have been so easy to just always miss that. And so I don't, but it's beautiful to have the games, our games, like Dodger games, and you can go back and listen to how Vin called them and his stories. And it really is like just so magical.
We're never going to have anyone else like him. And I don't know if anyone will ever break his 67-year career record.
It's funny because like I was just talking to my parents on how like, the games used to be longer and stuff. And like, how sometimes going home, it's like, and then, it actually, I'm like, Mom, what do you picture with that? She's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like we would leave, but you turn on the radio and you have Vin, and it's like you're leaving and you're headed home, but you're listening to the game through Vin. And it's like whether something good happened, bad, it's like you felt like you were still there. And it's so true. Like you didn't really miss the beat.
Mm-hmm. It was also cool to learn that. So Vin called games from like the 1930s, and he'll have called games of players that are playing in the 2030s. So a whole century of baseball he will have like contributed to.
Wow.
How crazy is that to think about? And just imagining, one of the clips I watched, Vin is talking about really like what started his connection with the Dodger fans. And it was a moment where he just started talking to them. And they're all with their transistor radios watching the game at Dodger Stadium. And someone from the staff is like, why is the whole audience saying B? Because he asked them, I guess there was like a delay or something. And he's like, okay, now say A or B. And the whole crowd is like, B. And they're like, what is going on? And he's like, that's when I knew I had them. Because they're listening to me.
Wow.
It's just so cool. I mean, I could talk about him all day.
I know. I'll never forget when I was working at the Langham, and he was the grand marshal for the parade, the New Year's Day parade. And I'm standing there, and like I hear this voice behind me coming down like the corridor, and I'm just like just instant chills, like, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, and I like turn around, and it's just him and his wife, and it's just like, he's like, hello, sweetheart, and his voice. And it's just like, gosh. I don't know. It's not like just such a grandpa, but it's like, can you give me a hug? Like, I didn't ask that, but I just said hi and thanked him for just who he was. And he was like, oh, you're so welcome. Thank you, sweetheart. And then he went on to do like what he needed to do. But it's like, just hearing it in person and sitting there, like, it's just, I don't know. I'll never get sick of it. It's interesting though. Muncy was talking about how he played on the A's against them, but he never got to have Vin call a game with him being on the Dodgers. And it's like, gosh, that must be so awesome to have those games for some of those players.
I mean, Vin called Kershaw's no-hitter, and he's saying, it's all right, Ellen. Like he's talking to Ellen, watching her.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know my Vin Scully story?
The one with the radio?
No, I met him once at Spago where I met Oral.
No, I've never heard this one.
Really? I've told it on here, but we have new listeners, so I'll tell it again.
Okay.
So this is because I looked at my phone to see when it was, and it was 2019 or 2018. So he had already been retired. And I was the hostess at Spago at the time and saw that he was coming in and was freaking out.
Yeah.
So when he walked in, I'm saying hi and walking him to the table and hello, sweetheart, same thing.
But like the voice, it's like, okay, go ahead.
I think he was with his daughters. And so after I walked him to the table, I come back and I texted my boyfriend at the time, who was born and raised LA, diehard Dodger fan. I'm like, you have to bring me a ball so I can ask him to sign it. So he went and got a ball, brought it to me. And on Vin's way out, I asked him to sign it. And he's like, oh, sure, no problem. Just, you got to be patient with me because I'm very old. And he scribbles his name on it. And that's one of my most prized possessions. However, I let my boyfriend give it to his dad at the time because it was Father's Day.
What's wrong with you? You're so nice.
That's what I have to tell myself because I truly regret it. But then I'm thinking, Vin probably would have liked that I did that I let him give it to his dad because they did not have the best relationship. And their conversations really were only about Dodger baseball. And I really do feel like after that, it kind of opened things up for them.
So what I'm wondering is once this relationship ended, how was there not a follow-up? I'm going to need that ball back.
I've thought about it a lot.
Okay, well, do we pull a Sandlot? Go get that ball back.
Okay, well, can I ask for it back? What do you think?
Just look into the camera and ask for it back, and we'll send a clip to what's his face.
Yeah, can we get the ball back?
I think he listens.
Honestly, if
I
you
really
are
do.
listening,
Okay, if you're listening,
we're going to drop an address.
how would you feel about giving me the ball back? I have a Dodgers podcast now, and I have this nice book.
Really wants to put it on this
really
bouquet.
like to put it in there.
Yeah.
I am the one that asked for it to be signed.
Yeah.
Okay,
don't know.
so let me know. I'm not sure if we're going to leave this in or not, but I do think about it from time to time.
I think we should ask him for it back.
Really?
I don't
You
know.
just did.
What's the worst that could happen?
Is that rude?
Yes.
Hey, can you ask your dad for the ball back?
Why don't we just say we'll trade you a Joe Davis signed baseball for a Vin Scully signed baseball?
Yeah, but
That's
LA
not the
born and
same.
raised, and you get a Vin.
Maybe we can trade something.
Maybe.
But then that involves me having to talk to him. That's the only thing.
Well, that's why I'm like, if we can just drop an address, if you don't mind just mailing it here, no communication is needed. Speaking of Joe Davis, Sports Emmy Award winner.
Oh my gosh, congratulations, Joe.
I know. Good for him.
I did go back and listen to the voicemail that Vin left Joe, that Joe played on the Rich Eisen show. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, you have to listen to it.
Okay.
So when Joe first started, Vin had called him to congratulate him, but Joe didn't know the number, so he ignored the call twice. And Vin, it ended up being a blessing in disguise because on the show, Joe played the voicemail, and it was like getting to hear Vin's voice again.
Yeah.
And it's just the most perfect voicemail.
I'm going to have to hear that. Gosh, Vin. We love
I
you,
mean,
Vin.
he's why we say it's time for Dodger baseball.
I know. He just built so much of the culture in such a loving, like, I don't know. I don't know how people like that
Sometimes
exist.
I get cringy when people call themselves storytellers. Like, I don't know, it makes me cringe a little. But Vin was just a natural storyteller, like a storyteller without calling himself that. Just the way that he made you feel so comfortable, knew when to be quiet, knew when he needed to say something, and just, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
was
I'm
perfect.
excited for our Legends Attic May. Did I say it correctly? Legends Attic.
Better.
Did I put the T again?
No, better. No, it's
Okay.
good.
Guys, apparently I've been adding a T, but Legends Attic, they have their event on May 30th, and Jaime Jardin's going to be there. And that was one of the coolest things is like not only hearing his like history of being there through the Fernando craze and also being Hispanic but like the counterpart of what Vin is. And like, I'm really excited to see him again.
I know. Actually, when I was watching all this stuff about Vin, it really made me remember that time we had with Jaime and just how special that was, sitting there with him, listening to him talk, listening to him share about his friendship with Vin and with Fernando.
Talk about natural storytellers, because it's such a casual conversation, but you just get locked into this. I mean, granted, the things he's talking about is so interesting and like so unique, but
how he learned baseball from Vin, how Vin was not only a mentor and guided him when he first started and taught him so much, but also they became such close friends and would travel together and have dinners together. Just really cool. And we've had such cool moments where have gotten to just sit and listen to these incredible legends.
I know. I mean, even
share
like Coach
stories
Mike
with us.
saying how he would just pop in and have 20-minute conversations and would make sure. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. But yeah, I'm excited I'm really excited for May 30th, because I think we always walk away when we get to be in the room with these legends and like hear these stories and just honestly, the heart behind it. Which is what we like connect. It's like baseball's bigger than just the sport. And it's like, that's like almost hearing their heart behind it and how like it's just shaped who they are. And
That's what we love.
That's what we love.
That's why we love baseball. We also love a Shohei homer. We also love Yamamoto shutout 7 innings.
Teo's back.
Edmund's back already helping us out.
Yeah, he's been quieter than before he left, but I'm kind of cool with him easing himself in.
It is really crazy to see the names on our IL, our starters and our relievers. All I just keep thinking is, as long as we get them back, for the postseason, because we're scrappy. There's a pitcher, I'm like, who's this guy? Lou Trevina? Where'd we get him from?
Right. I mean, if you think about it, though,
Do you know, Adam, what team he came from?
I think the Giants.
Really?
Well, when I Googled him, that's the first person that came up was him in a Giants uniform.
Oh.
I had to scroll to see an interview with him wearing a Dodger hat. You know how it goes from like...
Got to learn about him to see how we like him.
Yeah. But that's what's hard is like we have so many injuries and like, the guys that are coming up and, the knack and it's like, I feel for them, but they're not quite getting it done as much as we need while these guys are injured. So it's a hard transition and it's kind of, we have to root for them.
Oh, one more thing because you reminded me of the knack. So Knack was pitching on Vin Scully bobblehead night, and there was a 16 pitch at bat, which actually was the longest in MLB this year.
Oh.
He's pitching to Gabriel Moreno, who all of a sudden is now like a Dodger killer. Yeah. But with that long at bat, Joe and Oral are behind the mic saying, Vin planned this because that's when I heard and learned that story about him wearing the sweater in the frigid cold weather at Fenway Park. And it's like, and that made me think of like their prep and when they have these long stretches of long innings where they have to fill up the time and tell stories, to have that in their back pocket. And it was like, only if we had a 16 pitch at bat would we have gotten to hear that whole story. So like Vin doing his magic from above.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks, Vin.
Right? I thought that was special. But Knack sure looked sweaty.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
I look so nervous.
Poor Knack. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's just a hard transition because we have to be positive for the guys, but they're not quite scratching the itch of what we need.
Well, also, I learned that our starters have gone the fewest innings of all of MLB. So there's a lot of those types of, there's like a stat for everything, but there's a lot of those stats that I'm not really liking right now. Like our relievers are pitching the most in MLB and our starters are pitching the least.
Right.
That's not good.
No.
I just can't believe how many of our starters we don't have right now. But again, we have a lot of depth and we're scrappy.
I know.
It's like the postseason. We
just
pulled
went
it together.
down too.
I think that's why we got Lou.
What's with the hamstrings? You gotta do some.
Is that why Kirby's out?
Yeah, he grabbed his hamstring. And it's like,
Oh,
when those
no.
go tight or like they're pulled and it's like, it's just the worst to get them out, to get it back. It's just, I don't know. But I felt so bad because you know how Yates is like he doesn't show emotion until he shows emotion, you know? And so he's like grabbed his thing and then he's like, and then all of a sudden you could tell he's just like, because it's probably not getting better and it's probably just tightening up. And he's probably sitting there like, I actually have to come out of the game now. Oh, just hate it for them.
I know. I mean, it's really like, how long can they go without getting hurt? That's kind of how my mind has shifted a bit with the pitchers. Instead of like, they're hurt already. It's like it's not natural to throw that hard so much. So it's more like, how long can they play without getting injured?
Right. And Oral had made that comment of like, he feels like injuries happen in the practice in a sense, like the extra throws.
Well, he made it seem like he felt like they're practicing too much, or maybe they just shouldn't be throwing so hard during practice.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's one of the reasons why it's been so hard for people to understand.
It is. It's really hard actually, because I don't know what I'm being like ignorant about of like thinking it's a big deal and it's not, and this is just how it goes. But it does feel a little different this year. But then again, I feel like I say that every year.
Are other teams as injured as our pitching staff?
The Dodgers do seem to have an inordinate amount of pitching injuries, but yeah, everybody deals with injuries.
So,
should we do our player of the week?
Okay. Do you know yours?
Yeah.
You're really confident this week.
Well, I'm just going to say this before. This is our version of player of the week. This is our podcast, so it's our own rules.
Well, so has someone given you backlash on our player of the week?
No, I'm just saying that for me, there's more that goes into player of the week than just how they play.
Okay, so then maybe we touch on that after we talk about it.
Okay. Should I have said that after?
Yeah, like this is
roster person of the week, Dodger organization personnel of the week. It's just somebody who's in the Dodger organization.
I'll give you my why after I tell you. Okay, player of the week. 1, 2, 3.
Kim.
Muncy. Okay. Comment.
Dude, he's on fire. Literally. Just shooting through space. No, I'm really impressed by him. Honestly, I'm impressed by a lot of the guys.
He dropped that one ball.
Jeez.
In the outfield when Kershaw
So you want to go
starting?
battle on airs on who we should pick?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I guess that just is in my mind.
Honestly, a lot of them. I mean,
he's so fast though.
I could have easily said Freddie. I really think that he's been coming through with double on double on double.
I just feel like he's striking out more than I've ever seen him. But yeah.
That's my point. Is there's not one person we can talk without talking about something they've kind of been doing negative too. So
That's
it was
true.
a little hard this year.
And my Muncy, he's got some negatives, but
yeah,
why he's getting player of the week is because he really has shown improvement. And I need to give him some credit. I'm very happy for him. He got our walk-off, sac fly, won the game last night. And now that Barnes and Chris Taylor are gone, Max Muncy is our longest tenured Dodger.
Aww.
And I know, and from what I've heard, is that he feels that he needs to step up now and be that person. And I think he already is. I think he's a vocal leader in the clubhouse, but I think he's feeling the need to be that leader even more. And I really respect that. And so he's my player of the week.
I like that. I know I've been really proud of Muncy. I think that he's getting fed and he's happy. No, in a good way. I think No, we don't want to make it seem like he's, but I'm just saying, like, I think that you're right. He's really stepped it up. He's had some really good plays, and I've been like wanting it for him because I think that he's ready to lean into that role. But I agree.
The only thing that makes me a little nervous is that I heard that our team is after an NL West third baseman. If we sign one, wouldn't that mean Muncy's got to go? I do not want him to go. I will be very, very upset.
Is that the
Do not take our player of the week.
Is that the stat that I told you about the player coming here?
Maybe.
I looked into it more because I'm curious, and it doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
I really hope not.
But
You're referring to Ryan McMahon, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rumor. Is that I only know that because
From the Rockies.
the Cubs are also reportedly interested in trading for him as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the Cubs need a third baseman. Really bad.
Well, we were after Nolan Arenado for a long time. I don't know.
Oh, well, then I was looking into a different person.
He made it known that he would only go to the Dodgers, or that was a team he wanted to go
I
to.
heard it was the guy that you wanted to talk about last week.
Oh.
I think he's on Boston. And you're like,
Rafael
he's not
Devers?
coming.
Oh, Rafael Devers?
Mm-hmm. People were saying that Devers was thought about coming here.
No. Oh, yeah. I was
Well-
shutting that down real quick because he's not a team player. He refuses to go to first base.
Yeah. Well,
Our team,
we
all
don't need
team
him at first
players.
base, so that's why it might fit. Like, I know it just feels like I get it. Like when you don't want someone on your team, like I don't want him either. But like, yeah.
Speaking of the Red Sox, did you see that Bueller got ejected yesterday? Mm-hmm. So many of my friends from the East Coast were texting me about it. And Caleb, who came to the Dodger game with us, was at Fenway Park.
Oh wow.
And he's like, Bueller just got ejected. And I'm like, what happened? He goes, I don't know. I'm very far.
I gotta post that video
Top deck.
of him saying he's like, I've never been to it. I don't Dodger it up often, but when I do, so funny.
I did see what happened, and it was Bueller's first time back since getting injured, and he got ejected in the third inning. The pitch did look like a strike. It was straight down the middle. It looked like a perfect pitch, and it was called a ball, and Bueller mouthed off at the umpire.
He lost it.
He said F you a couple times. Alex Cora came out. He's getting mad. They both got ejected. Not a good look for Bueller's first time back, getting ejected in the third, but it did seem like their team and their relievers came in and they won the game.
Yeah. Did you see on Saturday? I just remembered this. The pickle play that just.
Oh my God, the pickle. That was the worst pickle. I hated it so much.
I was like laughing because I was like, I love a good pickle, but that was stressful.
That was the worst pickle because we got no outs and they scored. Dalton missed the ball. They threw it to this guy. He missed it. It was so embarrassing.
Yeah, it was
I
a bad
hated
one.
it. A first inning pickle. Poor Kirsch.
That was the first inning pickle. Yeah, that was really, at that point, I was like, I threw my phone down. Like I said, I was mid bachelorette. So I was like, I got to take a shot. I can't do this.
Yeah. That was really hard.
But I had
watch.
to bring up the pickle to you because I'm sure I was like, Melissa is going to freak at this.
I hated it.
Yeah.
They turned it around after that, though.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, I have something else to share.
Okay.
I'm just going to go through my notes. You know what? Let's share with the audience how we prep for our episodes.
Okay.
So we both separately, we try not to talk baseball with each other so that we can speak here and we get our genuine reactions. So
Which is really annoying.
It is because I do want to say, I want to talk to you about it a lot. But we text and it's
Right,
fun
yeah,
to share
yeah.
a text.
And we're working on a few new things of being able to watch games together. And so you guys can almost see our genuine reactions
But
during.
I feel like the best thing we can do is speak for the first time on here so that it is all natural and it's not like acting because we've already talked about it. But we both take separate notes watching the games, and I try and note just like my thoughts throughout the game.
No, well, I actually like that you're color coordinating because I think I'm going to change to that, to where it goes from like something I hear from someone or something that's come up in my mind. But yeah, we really just watch the games, put down notes. I try to it's easy on social media now to hear a lot of different nuggets of things. And, but we also like knowing, the back end of stuff or
Totally.
the foundations and what they did there or the wives or, all of it.
Yeah. Remember when we went to Sports in LA and Oral was kind of asking us what our prep was, and he was so great. He sat down and was, just letting us ask him questions. And he asked what other shows do you watch to learn from? And I really don't do that because I don't want my own thoughts. I don't want other people's voices in my head because I want to know that it's coming from me. And when I was watching all this stuff about Vin, something that Vin repeatedly said, and Joe said that he said to him was, I know it's very simple to say be yourself, but especially when you're first starting, you're wanting to see how other people do it. And you're taking a little from him and a little from her and all this stuff that, yeah, sometimes maybe you do get clouded with what is you. And that's really important for me and why I kind of, last season I was watching like every baseball show because I wanted to know everything and it messed me up. So I stopped doing that so much. And so I feel like my best prep is simply watching the games and like watching the interviews with the players.
Yeah, I think I get what you mean. It's almost like Spark Notes. Like nothing is best than just us watching the games and taking your own notes. But then it's like I do like a few people where I want to hear what their opinion was on that. And because I already solidified how I feel about it, you know, I feel more comfortable going in and like, you know, watching. Like Noel is so great. He has always like such a little like fun personality behind and has some like facts and things that I don't necessarily think of and go at, you know? And so almost like things I can just learn, but I try to tap in on a few as long as I already have an opinion about it.
I like that. And I agree. It's like, if we're watching the games, we've already gathered our own thoughts. So then after that, I can kind of watch other shows or whatever. But you're right. Actually, I messaged Noel once, Noel from Dodgers Nation, because he tends to choose storylines that I really resonate with and like I'm interested in. And he always seems to pick those. So I really like where his head's at.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I'm like, I wonder what Noel thinks about that.
But I do have some facts for you today. Did you know that Hae-Sung Kim chose number 6 because when he was watching the MLB from Korea, his favorite player was Trey Turner. And Trey Turner wore number 6 when he was with the Dodgers.
Wow.
And he's fast like Trey Turner.
Yeah.
We also didn't talk about our epic 19-2 win and how good it was and that Shohei hit 2 homers, but he also got struck out by a position player.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, the last couple games, the last little spurt of games, it has been hard to, there's a lot of uncharacteristic things that happen and you're kind of like, what the heck? You know, and then they shine like they normally do in so many ways. So it's like, you can't really leave a game feeling like horrible, but I really was happy to get a win last night. I know. I think the boys needed it. I mean, 4 games in a row, it just seemed like a random.
I know. Well, you know, Oral's like, there's going to be a stretch where we lose like 6 in a row. So I was thinking while watching, like, okay, this is the stretch. We already knew it was coming.
I'd rather it now because I do not want to lose to San Diego.
But the position player that struck out Ohtani, that's the story he's going to tell for the rest of his life. He threw the ball back in, smiling, you know. You could tell that he really wanted to smile big, but he was trying not to. But yeah, he got the ball, like, what's it called? Authenticated with like Ohtani's strikeout and the date and everything.
Okay, relax, dude.
I know, but like for him, that's like a moment that he's going to remember and share for his whole life.
I know.
I'm just reading what else I wrote that I forgot to tell you guys. One day I do want you to read mine because they're funny. Oh, Matthew Stafford was at Kershaw's first start with his family.
Oh,
I thought that was sweet. They put a picture on the Jumbotron of Matthew Stafford and Clayton Kershaw in Little League playing and wearing Dodger shirts.
I love that.
So cute.
All right, I guess
I think that's it, really. The last thing I'm going to say is, you know, I just love Shohei's walk-up song. And it really just makes me feel good.
I think it's a perfect walk-up song. I know. There's a few that I'm really over.
I know it's called Feeling Good, but don't you just feel good when it comes on?
Yeah.
It just like gets me in a mood.
It does. There's like no way I'm not like, let's go, baby.
Yeah.
I know. It's such a good walk-up song. I still just would love to know the process of when he heard that and when he was like, that's it.
I know.
And you're like, Decoy is probably like, yeah.
Okay, that's something that we're going to learn this year. We're going to figure out how the song came about.
Okay.
Speaking of learning.
No,
People are waiting for your book report on labor laws.
Yeah. You know what? And I was thinking about it, But instead, I decided to watch 3 hours worth of Vin Scully videos.
Got it.
So it's going to have to wait till next week. I did some quick Googling, but I wasn't really finding anything. So I have to do a little more research. And also, like, who should I call and ask about it?
Did you ask Oral?
I did ask Oral, but
he said it was.
He said he'd have to like look.
20 games?
You were there.
I mean, let's just start cold calling all the MLB, you know? Just, hey.
You want me to call Rob Manfred? I'll try.
Head of the Players Union, Tony Clark.
Who?
Is that his name, Tony Clark?
Oh, that's a good idea. Call someone from the Players Alliance?
Union.
Is there a hotline? Oh, no. Let's not get her that number. You're like, who is this girl?
Okay, so we're feeling good with Shohei. We're going to find out how Michael Bublé came about. You know, Michael Bublé is actually a Dodger fan. There's a video of him telling someone that Shohei changed his walk-up song. And when Shohei changed it, he hit a home run right away. Maybe that's why he kept it.
Probably.
Because it's working for him.
Yeah.
But it's just perfect. It suits him too.
I guess, okay, he kept it. I want to know how it came about before the home run made him like it, because he still had to put it on the list.
Shohei, if you hear this, just let us know how you chose the song. Or Will, his interpreter.
Bring Decoy by the studio to hang out.
We'll watch Decoy anytime.
Oh my gosh. I just saw, and there's a lot of like I don't know how many fan Decoys I follow, but I think I only follow his. But there was a picture of Ohtani holding a Visa with Decoy's picture on it.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
That's so cute. Well, we have another game against the Diamondbacks. Then we're going to New York.
There's nothing in between.
Adam?
Yeah, no, there's
I'm
a lot.
pretty sure the Dodgers are going to play a couple more games before we go to New York.
Well, you know,
No, not till when we go to New York. They go to New York in a couple of days.
Oh, the Dodgers go to. You're using the royal we.
What are you guys? This is a Dodgers podcast. What do you think I'm talking about?
I thought you were talking about
we are going to
and
New
then
York.
we're going to New York.
We're going in like a month.
Well, that's why we're having this conversation, is because we didn't know why you were jumping so far ahead. But you're talking about the Dodgers.
To what's coming
Because
up for
you're
the
on the
Dodgers.
team. You're on the team, so you say we.
Duh. Have you just met me?
I'm just clarifying. It just gets a little confusing.
They're going to New York to play the Yankees or the Mets.
Okay, we're gonna look at their schedule.
But I do know
They're
at the
playing
beginning of
Mets.
June, they're going to be in San Diego.
Were we still trying to go? Even though I don't have the prize?
Which, if we just messaged.
You can if you want.
Okay.
Okay, so we play the Diamondbacks. I was right. You guys were just being crazy.
We just
play the
misunderstood.
Diamondbacks today, and then we play, Mets. 3 in a row at Citi Field. Then we play the Guardians, and then the Yankees. Guys, what?
Okay.
What?
Nothing.
Why are you both looking at me like I'm crazy
well,
at this moment?
No, nothing. It's just
Tell
a funny
me.
way to. It was just a funny way to read off the schedule.
Oh.
I think that's what I laughed at. I don't know what Adam's chuckling about over there.
We're going to win the Diamondback series. Then we're going to go to Citi Field. We're going to beat them. Then we're going to go play the Guardians. We're going to beat them. And then we come
Back.
or do we stay there?
No, at the end of this spurt, they come back, and the last people we play away is San Diego.
Oh, yeah. Wait, guys. I think we play like
Yeah.
29
hold
games
on,
in
hold on.
31 days.
Just to be very clear here.
Yeah.
You're going to New York. You have a 3-game set against the Mets. You have a 3-game set in Cleveland. Then you come home and play the Yankees.
Yeah, we're going to those games.
And then you have a 4-game set at home against the Mets. And then you go St. Louis, San Diego.
Oh, okay.
So there's a home stretch in between your two.
Adam, we haven't been to a game together in a while.
Oh, let's go.
Okay. I really wish we could go today, but it's Chella's birthday. And
Happy birthday, Chella.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Thanks for all your support and love.
She's like, so is that Pantone episode done yet?
Coming.
I know. I was like, it's coming, Mom.
Oh, that's a fun one to look out for, guys. We interviewed Alex Soto, who created Pantone 294, and that'll be out next week.
Yeah, that was cool to kind of meet the man behind the brand. It's a brand that's taken over a lot and is doing some pretty epic things.
Your favorite word.
My favorite word.
You know what? We're going to go and call my ex-boyfriend and get the ball back.
Yeah.
Wish me luck. Okay. Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers.
Dodger for life. That was Kirsch.